BMA by Angel 102.9 FM, Angel Drive in our tea. Matters of the heart in the Edrusi. Yane Councillor George Lutro, te babi din komo all the way from the USA. Na yane no ashe wo letter o de bre no. My name is Councillor Otemen Kadia. Hello, Councillor.
Yeah,
and medem Otemenka.
Mr. Mato Kapa.
Lovely. I'm on for patches and waka kwentu mu. Ade.
Sebo me da amanfo ase. They are acting as if they are concerned, but unfortunately for me, they are not truly and really concerned. And the catch that was say, and komo aja mofia ma ye shin sani. Because about some time ago, me adia ba ko na me ye say me feel my anymore na adwuma me ye ne kakra yi ebo amanfo yi na me wo gidie bi say enkrofo bi a me ne won nam no omo ye equally qualified counselors no na ma adwene say recommending them was the best. What I say about so that in my absence I'll give them the nod to go and sit in my programs for me. Can you imagine that? Omokwa, no mo see de debia, no mo person can be station. No, say I am not really the kind of person they should be running for the program, but they are qualified. And Crawford me be so me a colleague counselor so. Eti me feel my musia se bon Crawford be near J. Sa DNA asemba ye ya obi afrem wo Ghana mini Ghana your friend makasa WhatsApp yi. Yes obi ko bisa say na aden omo de omo ni ha na. Enti bajo ka che won say maka akanto mu go no Angel FM 102.9.
Enti amongst counselors there's more beef on.
There's no beef, but some time ago I wanted to be a type that can recommend people when I'm not around. But now I don't have anybody to recommend. I don't know if anybody will recommend me though, but I don't have anybody to recommend at the moment as I speak. Because I've told you before, say nobody, I'm not building anybody to be like me, and I don't want to have a replacement. When I'm no more, my books should speak for me, my tongue should speak for me, and the story ends there. That's what I'm doing now. Because they are not worth being
early comments we are the better to na yemko asem so.
So and I mean I don't know if people understand why Akosia Sewa for Sumises went to court. The media, I don't think the media to most of you understand why she went to court. If you are different, I know your educational level and your presentation. Please, do you have an idea why Akosia for Sewa Mrs. went to court?
Seminyani year eye kuna nuntia no moko for widowhood rights ninti.
Okay, so I think that is where the problem is. So the education is not going. Akosia Sewa Fosu went to court because she's been deprived of being recognized as the wife of Daddy Lumba, not Okuna. The reason for going to seek for redress is for the court to clear that she is the wife of Daddy Lumba and still married to Daddy Lumba. That was the only reason why she went to court.
All right.
It's not about Okuna. I get my point here.
That's
so,
right.
and the air the see idea, and Odo Broni di kunim, and of course, no. If she's able to be clarified in court that she is Mrs. Akosia Sewa Fosu, the story ends there. I get in a picture. That's all we're looking forward for. And people should learn that, Sebo, let's learn this education. If you marry in Ghana under traditional law, and you travel to any of the states, Germany, UK, US, and you are going to file your document and you are asked, are you married or single? And you say you are married. Once you are there, you are filing with Rosie, and you say you are married. They don't care whether it was traditional marriage, it was engagement, it was what. Once they settle the two of you under the civil law, you are married. Because in America, in UK, in Germany, they don't have traditional marriage. So our DMB are the two yet done in no civil marriage. It's also a law. Eti komana ye di nyanya careful. And Uncle Tiasia said, Obima Odo Broni enya se. Only that the Lumba wale ye. Na ye sheshano. Ni ye shishe AI. Eye nyamamano. No mo begitu mu say ye wale na. No me nebeda nusu enya sasa. Di etosubio. Odi ayire no koye den. Mesreno odi ayire no ekoye den or the sudden swag den abayo afile wesisu undi 50 ohun ya fe ohun na me kokko we ya tenten say rosy kakra who problem ne den. What is your problem? Na you be pushing na mage ya benya no me send to review afa Angel FM so say mon kan chia ne say emra no would definitely take care of the children. Don't keep that in your head. But emra no has nothing to do with her. See what you say? Kuma would act a beer. I'm an area that the beer by a cool yamaho. What?
Yes, Kim Brenya.
See what? And from so upon a year, I want a children. Yen, you find out this year. When you're about to now on penny bioma, Messra, Kona Kojana, they are to Papa, I did home come on. So what him say? I say, all call what you will, or Bano what Germany by 29 see we say a big gun. One fino. And I want to honor.
There be only details in them in
the testament, any will, ni nyama watchu ni nana. Yes, where you were you. Mummy and Kai say, Embrana won't quite say a reverse it. It is our caretaker no buy it. Ever share now, Obiasi or no share no yadin permanent yamanina. If the man was still married before taking you to court to marry again, you become useless. And if you don't take care, they hold you for bigamy or they declare the marriage null and void. As someone done, Sisi versus Sisi. There are too many examples.
Counselor, so friendly caretaker, no, I think that's quite harsh. You with me, up a dinfophobia, fatamana, okay.
But you were doing or Miami Timmy, and Grofo a year shall go for Mayali. Your friend saying they are caregivers, they are caretakers. So what are you talking about?
They don't have children with their caregivers, do they?
This woman has no child with a man. Mind you, if you are a caregiver and you go and have a child with the man you are taking care of, you have breached the consent, the protocol of the job that we are employed for. So after Odo Broni's case, Odo Broni was introduced to Akosia Sewa by Lumba. If she's lying or they are lying, then I'm lying. As Abaya Wenya Buami Kakra, and she prepared a room for Akosia Sewa to lie in, not as a wife. So when we are talking about that issue, Per Brenya, the Kumawood actor, and this particular one, the Kumawood actor has somebody taking care of her, went to marry her, ignoring the wife. And the wife is back. And the wife will win. The same like Odo Broni. Odo Broni has come to take care of Lumba, not as a sick man. I keep asking myself, if we keep referring to Lumba Yali, and Lumba Yali, and I was 6, then I will come. What's the artificial insemination?
Yeah, Council say on ye beti break kakra. Fache ne yanko ya asem so. We have few minutes now. Yeah, addresses are home.
Angel FM obi atie o me wi a o be fa na say mechanical from me say. Oba so be hwe Lumba as a caretaker. Or on sesa from being a caretaker, but she becomes a baby mama. Say Lumba ko en ho de na it is established say Akosua Sewa is still the wife of Lumba. Then she has committed a crime. Unless she says she didn't know. Now her fate is in the dead body. The only person that can deliver Odo Broni is Lumba, who is dead, and not those who are following her. So there's no victory. Odo Broni winning, and Lumba Lusu. She went to court for clarification. Abusa Penny says, I am not a wife. May the court look at this document and check if by the civil laws, I am no more a wife. If they say she's not a wife, she will pack her things and go somewhere and leave the rest for Odo Broni, who claims she's a wife. But if they say she's a wife, then the action must be taken where the children will be taken care of and Odo Broni will be set aside. She has to be evacuated from the house immediately.
Yeah, more fast story in Toso. Also, hello, Sibo. I've been having sleepless night lately, and it all comes from my secret child from an early youth. While in secondary school, I got my high school girlfriend pregnant, and her family thought I wasn't befitting for her daughter, for their daughter, because of the rascal life I lived. They flew her out of Ghana to avoid disgrace. Initially, we used to speak on phone when she flew abroad. But few months after her delivery, I stopped hearing from her. Her family has left their government bungalow and I can't find them. And that site has been developed into a private property. It's been 15 years now. And even though I am married, I just can't live with the fact that I have a child somewhere whom I cannot find, that my wife and children know nothing about. I am scared there might be some dispute one day when I'm not alive. And my family might be ruined. Do I inform my wife about this child or not? In fact, Abante Pache say, owo SS, be 15 years bini, and now nene girlfriend or nene shisha SS on him no. Now, and I'm saying I need to trust someone and so nene rascal life be living no. In fact, get nebus you say, you go minima sintom the new quabru to the crana or ne bemano intermatite. Now, no crane obey quabru, no guswa dinkomo. Na bosumi kakra obane ende wo ye no na mo no ante ne nkabiem na wadi achia komufie ho na omoye adwuma e wo aban mu anase obane ebusuafo ye adwuma wo aban mu to no mo government bungalow okwa wa onzu ebubu o ye dia ye private property obi animo na we hu omachi akwan. In fact see waware na oda na nansin ontimi nakra if say ha no say waware na ne yire ne manim se o baby na onhu so on kan che ne yire no se ma ne nkan na ne osuro kra ne se bi owu a ne chi no na ne aye basa nto kwankwa se se onye ne den kansa yemfa famu na yema ne futu
ebo me da ase me chia etiefo bio amenka se technology nti echire enye fa echi very close so yen nyina yewo ha menchia adwumayefo nyina ase na menka say 1 minute bia afromax nyina mu na wodi asa bomode na order wodi asisia on 0277609644 afromax plus bema bia here to prevent your prostate from enlarging and becoming a crime for you enya no keke your liver and everything is being taken care of na kai say makpa ginger chips ya mintu ye to bi wi bia che and I can imagine the way he's feeling now without my presence and the makwe ginger chips. So, utie guy now, or see Owua. I don't know why he's thinking in that angle and not the present. There are two ways of announcing, and whether it's necessary to announce or not. So, this is the story. The story they say, Akwalana odi no komono. The child was born before the marriage. Is that not it?
Yes.
So the package is that there are two forms of announcing children out of wedlock. When the child comes out of wedlock during the marriage, the story is different. When the child comes out of wedlock before the marriage, it's also a different story. Because there are women who have vowed that they will never marry a man with a child. I don't know if you heard women saying that.
Yeah, Matibi.
You know, people say that often. I hear people saying it too much.
Okay.
So, or baby or what? She doesn't want her child to be the second born of the marriage. That is the standard. There are others that no matter how nice you are, once you have a child, they don't want to have anything to do with you. There are men who also don't want to have women with children to marry them. Only few of us are ready to marry women with children who have character. But let me tell you, if you meet a woman with a child who married before they divorce, if you're marrying somebody's ex-wife, always be careful. Because whatever their husband faced, they will use it against you at a white wash or calico. So this man's story is that Akwalano, because no yaketu okonye mo yenti, ebusuane hu say which I agree. So I don't know if you were told when you were growing that if you impregnate anybody, you go and live with a girl. Did your father tell you that? They never told me that they will bring the girl to our house. My father said, anytime I impregnate anybody, they will sack me from this house to go and live with a girl. Mantia said that. So, and when I grew to a certain stage where I was working, my father said, I don't see you with any woman, but keep this in your head. Anybody that brings their child to this house, we will receive it. That was the second word when I became a grown-up, and I was not focusing on women. Until 1:31st night, my mother and my father called me and asked me, is everything okay downstairs? Because I am growing. By then, I wanted to dedicate my downstairs to money and property. So childbirth during a certain stage of your life will not help, because it will cause an abrasion or interference to the future they are looking for, both in male and in female. It is a busuafone kase se no tie no amu tumi mane na eni omo baba ne ntena dia na che se eye no kure se eye mpre ho nyinsen omo pre omo ho na nyinsen bae. But the problems is here kese ya ne se a son say wawari one body yire na mane. Say, but it was funny, eh? I was officiating a marriage where I don't do counseling in my church. My church, I only supervise after the people have been counseled, because if I sit in a counseling chair, I think we'll have few marriages happening like the one Rosie is about to do. But hear this one. Maybe edge document ever file it, then I'm going to say, unfortunately, on nipa no mo ye the council no feeling marriage register or your divorcee. That is what I pay. Then I went back to ask the counselors, did you ask if he has a child out of their old marriage? They said, we just realized that he said, I said, no, go and ask. Where is the child? What is happening to the child? Say, well, in that particular time, they have fixed dates to have the marriage. Can you imagine that when I started probing, the lady in question who has a child with this particular one that was writing divorce was saying that the child custody arrangement was not properly done. So she was not going to agree and was preparing to come and cause mayhem on the day of the wedding. And they have to reach her and tell her that she can't do it because she can be arrested by law. God will declare the bans and she has a right. If she thinks that the child support is not working, she can go and file in court, and they will call the husband to come and do what he's supposed to do, or the ex-husband or the child's father. So a child before marriage has a different story, and a child during marriage has a different story. But as we speak, the firstborn of this man is the first child of the marriage they find themselves in, which is going to distort the mentality of the woman who is sitting there, because she will feel she has been deceived. But here is the case. The young man said he was denied of having attention with the girl at a certain stage. His mistake was not announcing. Let's be honest. He has made a mistake. He could have announced before the marriage, especially because the child was there before the marriage. Whether the child is with your grandmother, the child is with your auntie, the child has been taken from you as I walk. There's a child for me, and I announced it, and I keep announcing every day. Even though I don't believe the child is mine, the mother keeps telling the child, the father. And she's there. No one, more than 3, and I'm okay. Maybe I'm a foster father, not a sexual father or a biological father. But I'm saying that I announced these things that were happening to me, whether they believe it or they don't believe it. So this guy's first mistake is that he never announced it before the marriage. Can he say it now? No. Why am I saying no? As we speak, if he tries to say that there's a secret in his head that he cannot sleep, where is the child? Is the child still alive? Where is the location of the child? When was the last time he spoke to the child? So if you are going to announce this to your wife, which details are you going to give her? Are you going to call her to think like my word is that he should not announce now until he does investigation, have clear proof that the child is in Kaswa, is in Nyanyano, is in Ethiopia, and the child is truly his. Because somebody just announced, and with the DNA came up to be that the child is not even for him in America. So hear this. If you are listening to me and you want to know how to announce a child, we don't tell the wife first. We tell the family first, like the way that the Lumba did. Call me on 0277 it is 609. It is 644. If somebody has run away with your child, as a man, not as a woman, as a man, and you want to tell your family before marriage, call me, let me help you, because if you don't go for that child, definitely you have sleepless night like this young man. 0277 609 644. The same number can give you
Councillor George Lutro Teha and Yede in Comunina ABC. Yes, sorry, so near the Angel Evening News, and it was so have a beautiful evening. Your friend is Sibo, Kujo Sibo. We out.
Yeah. I'm in my own lane, so that's